Hi there everybody, it's Tiffany with Ready Set Crop, getting ready to do a live process video with you tonight. On this snowy Sunday night. Well, it's snowy where I am. I don't know how the weather is where you are tonight. We have snow tonight, started about 6 o'clock. Says going till 1 a.m. and then we have snow again tomorrow morning. So nice double whammy of snow in my area of the woods. So tonight I am working with some photos of the Paul McCartney concert my daughter and I went to last June, and I was going through my phone today just making a list, and I realized that this one wasn't on the list. How could I have forgotten the Paul McCartney concert? This has to go in the scrapbook. And then I had other plans. So in my listing for this event, it says that I'm going to be using the Our Moments, but when I printed these photos, the colors weren't right, and I needed blues. And so I pulled out my Emerald Gemstone collection, which is an older collection, but it has really nice tones of jewel tones of blues and turquoise and greens, and I thought that those would go better with these photos. The only really good photo I had of that night was this one of Eliza and I, just a selfie. The other ones, you know, we're at Fenway Park, Paul McCartney's really far away, they're all blurry, you can't tell what's going on. So I went on to Instagram and I Googled Paul McCartney at Fenway Park, and the Fenway Community Center posted this awesome photo of Paul from behind, like someone was on the stage and took this photo. And then this one was also posted with the date. So I thought, well, those are perfect. So if you have events like that you don't have good photos, go online and see if you can Google search for those. You know, this is just your own personal album, so it's okay to do that. Because I wanted to have a good Paul McCartney photo for my album. So I have this selfie and then these two pictures that I'm going to use. Just rain where you are, Kelly? Well, that's better, as long as it doesn't freeze. Rain is better than snow. Well, I think so. My son would not agree. He's a snowboarder and he enjoys the snow. So I have all these different papers here, and I want some strips of different colors of blue. So I'm not even going to look at the greens, but I know that I want to use this blue. Oh, that one's really cool too. I want mostly lighter colors and then one dark. So I think that's going to be my dark. That's going to be a lighter one, or that one's cool too. That could be a lighter one. Let's see. Maybe I'll use this one. Maybe I'll use those three, and then this is my dark. I think that's good. And I'm just going to be doing a bunch of strips. So I'm going to put all of this aside and just keep out the paper that I want. I also have some cards here from the Variety Mats, and I'm definitely going to use some of those. So I have those, and then I have these blue stickers that were from Hip Kit. I think it was Hip Kit. A scrapbooking monthly subscription that I was in years ago. So these have been hanging around for probably 4 or 5 years. So I'm definitely going to use those for my title. Let me grab a background paper. I forgot that. So I'm just going to do a white background. Hi Gail, happy Sunday. And then I'm going to cut some 1-inch strips of paper. So I'm going to start with this one here. This really pretty like watercolor turquoise. And then I'm going to cut 2 1-inch strips of that one. And I've got these watercolor flowers or leaves, I guess. They kind of remind me of lily pads. Those are pretty. And then this one here is just these blue stripes, really subtle stripes. They're not perfect, these 1-inch strips. And then some of the cards have a nice light blue to them, so I'm going to use this card here and cut that in half. So I've got 2 strips of that one. And then this one here, I'm gonna cut 2 strips from this card. And then this one here, same thing. I'm gonna cut 2 1-inch strips. So I'm just doing 1-inch pieces. Okay, and for my longer ones, these are all 12 inches long, so I am gonna turn it this way, and I'm gonna cut them all at 6 inches. Went through almost all of them. All right, so now I have a whole bunch of strips. Now I will post the finished layout when I'm done, and you will see the sketch that I am using as a inspiration for this. It was on paperissues.com, or on their website. They do a sketch every week, and this was their sketch for this week, and I thought it was really fun. So I am just layering these pieces, and I'm gonna kind of overlap them a little bit. And I'm not lining them up perfectly either. Wow, that really fits the space pretty well. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start sticking these down. You can see how my layout is starting to build. So you could line these up all nice and neat. I am not going to. I'm going to make them all, some go straight, some go a little crooked, some overlap more than others. And this is a great way to use up scraps too. If you have a bunch of scraps lying around that you need to use up, just cut them, and they don't have to be 1-inch strips. You could do 1/2 inch, you could do 3/4, whatever you have, and they could all be different widths too. You could kind of mix and match a little bit. See how that comes out. What I like about being able to use the variety mats is I'm getting additional patterns that coordinate just on little cards. So like this speckle was just on the cards, it wasn't on a pattern paper. So you get some extra patterns. And some of them are great for journaling, embellishing, and matting your photos. There's lots of uses for those cards. All right, so I'm just lining these all up, sticking them down. But I laid them out ahead of time just so that I could see where they all went and which colors would work best in which areas. All right, so there's the start of my layout. Now I'm gonna grab my photos and trim those up. So I did 2 3x4s, but they're square photos that I grabbed off of Instagram. So they're gonna be like 3x3 photos. They're just little Instagram pictures. I couldn't find this one in color. I was hoping to get it in color since the other 2 aren't black and white, but I couldn't find it in color, and I just really wanted to get this. I just love that angle from the back and you could see all of Fenway Park. I thought that was great. Beatles are my favorite band in the entire world. So I spent most of this concert in tears because I love, love, love the Beatles. And, you know, my daughter and I were singing along and just having the best night ever. I love live music anyways, but when it's your idol, it's really, really great. Okay, so I'm going to pull these cards out again because I want to map my photos, and I'm going to use these cards for matting. So I'm going to put this one on this dark turquoise because I like that one. And I'm just going to cut it out like this. I'm not worried about this extra pattern that's going to be there. That's fine. That doesn't bother me. And then this one, maybe it'll go on here. And then I have the 4x4 that I'm going to put on here. So the mats, you get two different sizes. You get like a 4.5 by 6.5, I think. It's sort of like bigger than a 4x6 and bigger than a 5x7, I think. I'm not sure exactly what the sizes are, but they're meant for matting your photos. And then, you know, these kinds you can use for journaling or for putting titles on. There's lots of different uses for them. All right, so I have my 3 photos. In the sketch, it had them 1, 2, 3. So I think I'm going to put us in the middle, and then Paul and Paul like that, or vice versa. But I need to add one more thing to my layer of papers. And so for that, I'm going to grab this dark paper that I had set aside, and I've got my border maker system. And I'm using the Sunshine Arches because I just want to add a little bit of a border to my layers of papers. And I thought this one would be fun to add kind of a different shape because we've got all these rectangles going across. So this is still one that you can purchase, Sunshine Arches. It's a really pretty border that, again, like the scallops, goes with anything. You can put, I think you can use this cartridge on anything. So I'm just popping this dark color into my paper holder, and then I'm just going to fit my border maker into the grooves here. And this is one that does the border along the top of the paper. You can see that here. So it stays in place on the photo, on the paper. So you could leave it just like this and have it across your photo, across your paper like that. I am going to trim it because I want this to be a freestanding border that I can use somewhere else. So I am going to trim it, just leaving a tiny little sliver of paper so that I've got this border. I'm going to punch one more just in case I need it. So this little holder comes out. That helps me to make sure that I line up my paper properly when I have it set in that tray. I engage the magnet, and then I can fold that tray down underneath and then pop the punch right on here again. And when you're punching with kind of intricate borders, sometimes it's a good idea just to pull it all the way out and make sure you don't have any loose pieces that you just punched kind of in there, because that will gum up the works and then you'll end up with a messy border. I'm going to pull all this aside and trim this one as well. Just leaving a little sliver again. Okay, so I'm going to pull my layout back over. And what I want to do, now I have the two different sides here. We have the green. I really want a contrast. So I'm going to trim 3 of these punches, 3 of these sunshine arches, and then again another 3. And then I'm just going to look for spots where they will stand out the most. So I want them between lighter colors and kind of spreading them out throughout the layout. And I'm going to grab my removable adhesive so that I can put this down, and it's only going to stick in the spots where there's paper. So I can easily put this down, and I'm not going to have extra adhesive where I don't want it. The removable is great when you're not sure where things are going to go. You can easily put things down, oops, and pull them back up, but it will become more permanent after time. So I'm just going to lay those down. And you can see, like, if I decided, oh, I don't want this one here, I can pull it up. And then I can say, no, actually, I did like it there. I'm going to put it back. And it's fine. I haven't damaged my layout at all, but it's still sticky. But by tomorrow, I won't be able to make those decisions. It'll be in its place by tomorrow. Okay, so now I just have a few of those. I just like that contrast, and with the dark color, it really stands out against the lighter colors along the side there. So now I'm going to grab my photos. So I've got my big 4x4 here, and then I've got my 2 little ones, and I'm going to put them, I think, like that. So I'm going to put my title over here. I'm first going to grab a piece of foam, and I'm going to pop my center photo up a little bit just to give it, just to highlight it a little bit more. So I'm just cutting a square, roughly 3x3, just eyeballing it. This is just craft foam, and it has adhesive on one side. So we'll stick it on the back there, and then add some liquid adhesive to my foam. So this one's going to go right in the center-ish. And now, because I put this one up on foam, it gives me a little bit of wiggle room, so I could tuck this underneath, and I could tuck that one underneath, and I really like that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I like how that looks. Whoops. Glue isn't dry yet. It's sliding around on me. Hey Karen, thanks for joining me. Nice to see you on this Sunday night. Okay, so there is my layout. Now I'm going to add my title over here, but before I do that, I want to add a little, actually I think I'm going to do my title, and I'm going to make some space for journaling, and then I'm going to add some splatters. So I'm going to do my title first, and because this is a Paul McCartney layout, I'm going to see, I don't know if any of you are Beatles fans if you're watching, but I'm going to start my title and see if you can guess what it is. I'm going to start it right here. I'm going to spell it in my head so I don't give it away. And these stickers I have had in my stash for probably 5 years now. So I'm glad to be using them, and they're on the tail end. So you got to use that stuff in your stash. It's no good to just hold on to it forever. Oh, you got it, Kimberly and Sue, you got it. Ticket to Ride. I'm gonna use my pen, my journal pen, to write the word to. Nice job with your guessing. That's fun. I might do that from now on. See if you guys can guess my title. It's kind of fun. Ticket to Ride. I mean, we weren't riding anywhere, but we had tickets. When I thought of that today, I just thought I was so clever. I love using song lyrics and song titles in my layouts. I also name my cats after songs, so all of my cats, well, I only have 2 right now, but all of my cats that I've had since 7th grade have been named after songs. So that's one of those things that I like to do. Fun fact. Okay, Ticket to Ride. So then I'm going to use that same journal pen, and I'm going to draw some lines where my journaling is going to go. I'm not going to journal now because it's really hard to journal and chat with you. So this is just giving me the idea of where my journaling is going to go. And now I'm going to do a little bit of splattering, and I'm going to use these same markers. This one, it was like a blue-gray. Then this one is a blue. I wish they put the names of the colors on here because I never remember. And then this green color. And just grabbing a piece of packaging. And these journal pens have a thin side that I use for my lines. And then there's also a thicker side. And so I'm going to scribble with the thicker side on a piece of plastic. This is just packaging from something. So I've got the blue, the green. Looks like I'm scribbling on my layout. It's on the packaging, I promise. And then this blue-gray. Just gonna move this aside for a minute. And I've just got a little spray bottle of water here and a paintbrush. And I like to get artsy in my layouts and messy. So let me grab my box here. This is my splattering box that will keep the rest of my crafting area hopefully from getting too messy. And I'm gonna put a piece of paper towel down over my photos because I don't want them to get all splattery. So put that there. I want the splatters to go on the white. So now I'm taking my paintbrush and I'm mixing. I'm gonna add a little bit more water. These are water-based pens, so I can easily do this. And then I'm just gonna tap my paintbrush, and I've got the colors that match the paper. It's this blue and turquoise, and it matches perfectly. And I'm doing some over here. And I'm just giving the paintbrush a little tap. And that's it. Simple, simple. Try it on scrap paper if you haven't done it before. Give it a try and see what you think. There's no real way to control the splatters, so they're gonna go in all sorts of places. So the best thing you can do is just cover up with paper towel where you don't want splatters to go. All right, I'm gonna take that same blue-gray pen and I am going to outline my layout. But I think that might be it. This is a super fast layout, which is great for a Sunday night. And this can be very easily translated into a 2-page layout. If you are a 2-page person, just do this same technique on both sides. Use the middle of your two, if your two layouts are here, do this on the middle of both pieces of paper, not in the middle. Do it all the way over to the left-hand side on one layout, all the way over to the right-hand side, so that they kind of meet in the middle. And you could easily slide your photos over. You can add a 4x6 horizontal. You could do two 4x6s vertical this way. There's lots of ways you can fit more photos on here too. But I think as a 2-page layout, this would be great if you had this side here and then you had it continuing over here. That would be really fun. But really that's it to that layout. It was pretty simple, but a really fun way to add some borders just here and there on your layout. And again, this was the Sunshine Arches border that I added in this dark blue. And then I'm just going to do my journaling and the date, although the date's on here, but I'm going to add my journaling, and then that's it. It was a very quick and simple layout. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I will be posting this on my YouTube channel once the video is all done, and I will see you back here again maybe Thursday night. I think I'll be back. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.